I was away last week, but what a week of news. Let's catch you up to date. This is Healthcare Triage News. You may remember that when I last chatted with you, we were speculating whether Republicans in the Senate would pass a motion to bring the Better Care Reconciliation Act, or BCRA, to the floor. We also talked about how John McCain was recovering from a procedure to remove a blood clot from his brain. He was since diagnosed with brain cancer, which we're really sorry about, and we wish him the best with treatment. He nevertheless surprised everyone last week and flew back to DC. And with his help, the motion to proceed passed. I freely admit I was surprised. He immediately followed it with a passionate speech on how the process to create these bills had gone awry. He argued that a strictly partisan approach was wrong and called for regular order and committee hearings and such. This was ironic to many, including me, because he just voted on a motion to proceed on a bill crafted exactly that way. But more on that in a minute. The next few days were a flurry of activity. No one knew what was going on. The first big step was that the parliamentarian weighed in. It's important to remember that this bill was being passed using reconciliation. That was so that Republicans would only need 51 votes to pass, not 60. But reconciliation can only be used for certain things, and a number of proposals in the bill failed the test. But onwards the Republicans slogged. It was never clear that they had 51 votes, but the fact that they kept moving forward made it appear more and more likely that they'd get them. And then came Thursday night. If you're following news outside of Healthcare Triage, you know how things turned out. But it's important to note that the Republicans didn't vote on one bill that night, they voted on 4. The first was the House's form of repeal and replace, the AHCA. That failed to get the requisite 51 votes. They also voted on the BCRA, or the Senate's bill to repeal and replace, which we discussed previously. That failed too. They also voted on a straight-up repeal bill, with a replacement to come later. The ironic part is that this bill was also voted on in 2015 and passed and was vetoed by President Obama. This time, it failed. The most likely explanation is that senators felt okay passing it when they knew it would never become law under Obama, but not so much when it would under Trump. Regardless, down it went. What was left, and last, was skinny repeal. This bill would have merely repealed the medical device tax, the mandates, or pushed them off a bit, and a few other things. It was never meant to become law. In fact, most senators didn't want it to become law. They just wanted to pass something so they could claim they tried and maybe succeeded a little. They wanted the bill to then go to conference with the House so that they could try and craft a real bill together. A couple senators even held a news conference to stipulate that they'd only pass this bill if Speaker Ryan pinky promised the House wouldn't pass it and instead take it to conference. It's important to stop and dwell on how insane this was. The Senate was considering a bill they thought was so bad they wanted promises it wouldn't become law. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that I and many others were losing our minds on Thursday. Plus, Speaker Ryan can't promise this. Anything could have happened. But the fact that Speaker McConnell brought the bill to the floor late Thursday night meant he thought he had the votes. Collins was a no, and so was Murkowski. And late that night, John McCain surprised almost everyone and became vote number 3. That meant 51 against, and this bill failed too. That brought it all to an end for the moment. It's entirely possible that McConnell could bring the bill back for another vote, but Senator McCain has returned to Arizona for treatment for at least the rest of this month, and without him it seems like it's impossible to get to 51 anytime soon. It looks like, for the foreseeable future, repealing and replacing the Affordable Care Act isn't going to happen. But we'll keep on it and give you updates here on Healthcare Triage News. Healthcare Triage is funded in part by viewers like you through Patreon, a service that allows you to support the show through a monthly donation. Your support makes this show bigger and better. We'd especially like to thank Joe Sevitz and Sam. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Sam. More information can be found at patreon.com/healthcaretriage.